everybody, hope you're all okay and everyone's getting back to some sort of normality hopefully. No outdoor Pilates this week as it's forecast for lightning this afternoon, so I didn't really want to get struck by lightning whilst doing Pilates. But anyway, something a little bit different this week. We're going to do some sequences of exercise, so we're going to be doing some repeat sequences and so a little bit more of a higher energy and a little bit of interval type training with your Pilates exercises. So we'll start off with a warm-up. So we'll just warm up on the mat this week. So you come down onto your back and just have your knees in your rest position. And we'll just find that correct alignment with your feet. So if you take your feet together, kick your heels out towards the outside of the mat and then bring the toes out to meet. You should be in a nice alignment. So you want your hips, knees and feet to be in a nice straight line. And then we'll just take a moment just to take some breaths. So big breath in and then empty in the lungs. You can take your hands over your rib cage if you want to. So as you inhale, you'll just feel your fingers just come apart. As you exhale, you'll feel those fingers coming together. So really try and get that feeling that those ribs are pushing out towards the side of the mat and then completely emptying those lungs as you exhale. So try to keep a pattern going with that breathing. We'll start warming up through that body. So we'll just start at the head and neck. We'll just try and create a little bit of length through that neck. So if you just bring that chin down towards the chest without lifting the head. So you don't want to be lifting the head, just kind of nodding the chin down towards the chest. And you just feel that length start to increase through that neck as you do that. And then just gently tilting the chin back. Not too far, we don't want to be feeling any pressure on the neck, just a gentle tilt back. And then again, chin down towards the chest. And as you're doing this, start to be mindful of that breathing. So it doesn't need to be anything too complicated, but you can just think of one breath direction as you take the head back and the other breath direction as you take the chin down towards the chest. And then just make the movements a little smaller and smaller each time. Just until you come to rest in the centre, just with a nice length of neck along that mat. And then we'll just start to think about the placement of the shoulders on that mat. So if you just hug your arms around you, and you just feel those shoulders widen, you might just feel the centre of the shoulders just starting to make more contact with that mat. And then without lifting the chest, just take those arms out to the side. And you can start to think about your breathing following this movement as well. So arms around, give yourself a big hug. Feel those shoulders starting to widen, the centre of the shoulder blade, so that spine is just making contact with that mat. And then again, you're just taking the arms nice and wide. We'll do that twice more. And then bring that breathing, so trying to create more surface area of those shoulders down onto that mat. And then once more, just gently give yourself a big hug. And then you can just open those arms. And just walk the arms back in, just so they're gently down by your sides again. And then we'll just Have a look at the ankles, just some heel lifts. Just start to warm those ankles up, so just lift and drop the heel gently. Try and think about keeping the toes relaxed as you do this. So you can almost think about kind of spreading your toes, just so you're getting more of that surface area of the feet down onto that mat. And then just take the feet down, just give the toes a bit of a wiggle and a scrunch, and just spread them, and then take the feet back down onto that mat. And then we'll just follow up to your pelvis. So we're just going to find our neutral pelvis position and just start to warm up that lower back. So just have a little shufty round, make sure that you're nice and central with your pelvis and that you're not bringing your hip up towards your ribs or taking your pelvis over to the side. And we'll just imagine you've got a marble in the centre of the body, a little ridge down the centre of the body, and you're sending that marble up just by tilting those hips up towards your head, and then gently tilting in the other direction. Really trying to keep that pelvis nice and level, so making sure that one side's not more dominant. And again, focus on that breath flow. So you can inhale for one direction, exhale for the other direction. And then just making that movement a little bit smaller and smaller each time, just until you come to rest just somewhere in the centre. So we're going to move on to our first sequence of exercises. So we're going to do a timed section, and then we'll have a rest section in between each exercise, and then we'll repeat the exercise sequence 3 times. So we'll be doing 3 exercises in a sequence, rest, the same 3 exercises, rest, and then the same 3 exercises again. So I'll just demonstrate your first set of exercises. So we'll just start off with a fairly easy movement. I want you to think about the feeling that you've got something heavy on your tummy, so you're starting to get those core muscles warmed up, starting to get them holding that trunk in a nice stable position. So we're just going to start off with your hip rolls. So we're going to do a bit of a sequence of different difficulties of your hip rolls. So your first exercise, you're just taking the knees over to the side, just starting to warm up that lower back. And we'll start to just think about the core muscles starting to work now, and bring those knees back to the centre. So feel as if you're really connecting with the centre of that body. So this is going to be your first exercise. Okay, so your next exercise, we're just going to step it up with difficulty. So one leg at a time, we're going to come up into your tabletop position, and we're going to come into your hip rolls again. If you find that your shoulder is leaving the mat, you can take your arms out into a T position. So that is your second exercise. And then your third exercise, you're going to take it into a little bit more difficulty. So again, one leg at a time, back up into your tabletop. And I'm going to give you 2 options for this, so you can choose whichever option. So we're going to take the legs over to the side, and you can either extend one leg, or you can extend both legs once you get to your side movement. And again, you're going to come over to the other side. You can either extend your top leg, or you can extend both legs. Okay, so I'm going to time you, so you have to bear with me with the timer, because I'm having to use my watch, because I'm using my phone to video the class, so all high-tech stuff. So we'll start with your hip rolls, and I'll give you the signal to stop, and then we'll have your rest break. So off we go with your first set. So even though we're doing sequence of exercises, really try and focus on your form and correct movement, and imagining that heavy object on the centre of the body and those abdominal muscles working to bring those knees back into the centre. So I always try and imagine a bit of a diagonal pull from the lower hip up to the upper rib, so really working these muscles here. Don't forget the breath flow, that heavy object on the centre. So we're just starting now just to warm up these oblique muscles, so the muscles along the side of the body. So we're not just waving the knees from side to side. We're actually imagining those knees are heavy and bringing them back in with some sort of effort. So remember, your Pilates is a body weight exercise. Okay, so when you're ready, back into the centre, and then we have your rest break for 30 seconds. So we'll do a 30-second rest break, and then we'll go on to your next exercise. So for your next exercise, remember, we're going to go up into a double knee fold. So one leg at a time, we're going to come up into the this positioning, and we'll go off onto your hip rolls with your raised legs. So again, focusing on the centre of the body starting to work. And try not to cheat and bring the knees too far towards your body. Remember, you want to stay in your neutral position. So that pelvis, you don't want it tilting too far up towards the head, and you don't want your legs too far down. It's going to put a lot of strain on that lower back. So remember, shoulders staying where they are. Good, keep going. Remember to breathe. Okay, almost there for this set. Back to the centre, give those legs a breather for a second. If you want to just bring your knees up towards the chest. Okay, so serious multitasking here, keeping an eye on this time and doing the exercises, so we'll try and keep it as slick as possible. So remember, your next exercise, coming into your double knee fold, and then you're either extending your top leg or you're extending both legs. So up into your double knee fold, and off we go. So sideways, either your top leg extends and then comes back before you come back to the other side, or you can extend, bend both legs. So breathe, keep that breath flow nice and rhythmic. Thinking about the centre of the body, remember, doing that work to bring those knees back. Keep breathing. Keep those arms out in that T shape if it helps. Keep those shoulders down onto that mat. Okay. One more to the other side. And into your rest phase. So bring the knees up. Just give your back a little bit of a massage. So that is section 1. Or sequence 1, should I say, over done with. So we're going to repeat that twice more. So remember, you've got your easy one first. You've just got your hip rolls in this position. Okay, so off we go. So these abdominal muscles now should be starting to get nicely warmed up. Remember, you're thinking about bringing those knees back with those abdominal muscles. So try and imagine that the knees are coming up through some thick treacle, or you've got a bit of resistance there. So they're nice and heavy. So the legs aren't doing the work, the centre of the body is doing that work. Focus on that breathing, so much to think about. You should really be feeling this now along the sides of the body. Okay, and we'll come back to the centre, and then a little rest break. So bring the knees towards the chest, have a little bit of a rock around on that back. So remember, your next exercise is your double knee fold. So off we go. Okay. Think about the centre of the body working. Think about that breath flow. Especially if you start to get a little bit tired, really use that breathing to your advantage. Don't feel like you've got to move really quickly because we're doing this in sequences. Still move slowly. The slower you move, the more those little muscles you're going to target. So think about that breathing, think about those shoulders staying nice and stable. Okay, you've got about 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1, and knees towards the chest, and have your little rest break. So remember, your next set, which is starting any second now, is your leg extension. So into your double knee fold, and we're going over and either extending the top leg or extending both legs, moving slowly. As you extend, try and keep those hips at the same angle so you don't go further over to the side or come further back towards the centre of the body. Holding nice and still. Still breathing. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring those knees up towards that chest. Okay, so we've got one more sequence to go through of those exercises, and we're going to move on to something else. So just enjoy the rest of your little bit of your break, and then you've got your easy one to start with. So you've got your knees, sorry, feet on the floor, and off we go with your hip rolls. So you probably find now that you can get your knees a lot further over, but make sure that you're staying nice and secure with those shoulders, so you're not lifting that opposite shoulder. So hopefully you've got a lot more movement than when you first started. Not forgetting how we're doing this exercise, we're not just waving the knees from side to side. We're starting getting these and these muscles working. So imagine those knees are really heavy weights. Good. sequence, and then we'll move on to your next ones. Okay, and back into the centre. Bring those knees up. Have a little bit of a rock around. You've got your rest section. You can give yourself a little bit of a circle, so you give that spine a little bit of a massage. And then we'll reset the legs, make sure the hips, knees and feet are in line. And we'll bring one leg at a time into your double knee fold, arms into your T shape, and off we go. So nice and slowly. Remember, imagining those legs are really heavy. They probably are feeling quite heavy now. Nice and stable with the shoulder. So what we don't want is, as you take your knee to the right, your left shoulder lifts and vice versa. Okay, halfway through this bit. Really try and connect with the centre, with those core muscles. Okay, got about 10 seconds left on this one. And back into the centre and take those legs down. Okay, so almost done on this section. Now have a look at my little list to see what delights we've got for you for your next one. Oh yes. Okay, so remember your next one is, when you're ready, up into your double knee fold, arms at your T shape, and either single leg extension. Make sure you're moving slowly and getting that leg back into the correct position before you go over, or you can come into your double leg extension. But remember, holding nice and still in that position as you extend the leg, as you bring them back, and then as you're coming over to your other side. Good. Okay, got 10 seconds or so. We do one more to each side. And have a rest. Good. Okay, so that's the end of your first sequence of exercises. So just take the legs out, take the arms up over the head and just have a full body stretch. So we've done quite a lot of the legs up into your double knee fold. So we're just going to give your hip flexors a little bit of a stretch off before we work them a little bit more. So just bring one knee up towards the chest and just stretch that other leg nice and long. So feel the front of that long straight leg, just stretching off just all at the front of that hip. And we'll have a little swap, so opposite leg straight. So try not to allow the leg to rotate out or in, or you'll be stretching off the wrong muscle group. So want that leg nice and central. Good. Okay, so for our next exercises, we're going to make a little bit more progression through those exercises in double knee fold, and then we'll start to work a little bit on the centre of the body and a little bit on coordination as well for this one, well, for these three. Okay, so your first group, you come in one leg at a time up into your double knee fold. and working on making sure this angle stays the same behind your knee. So we're just going to be bringing one leg at a time down into that toe tap. So what we want to do is make sure as you're in that double knee fold position that you're in nice neutral pelvis position, and we're not doing it by just cheating and bringing the toe towards your bum, because that is cheating. We're wanting to double knee fold and keep the pelvis where it is, and then you've got the weight of the whole leg coming down. So that is your first exercise in that sequence. Next exercise is good old dead bugs. I know people find this a little bit challenging with coordination, but don't worry too much. So again, do double knee fold, this time taking your arms up towards the ceiling, and you can either, we're looking at diagonal arm and leg, so you can either stay in the leg movement we were just in, take one arm back, and notice this arm and this leg stay completely still, and then back and repeat. Or if you want to step it up a bit, you can take your leg and arm straight, notice this and this is staying still, and back, and then we repeat on the other leg. So we're not looking for scissors and waving around arms, we're looking for one arm and one leg to be completely still as the other arm and leg work. Okay, so that is your second exercise in your sequence. Your third exercise, coming up into your small sit-up, and we're coming into your single leg stretch. So we're starting with one leg up, gently grasp towards the body, the leg straight, and then with swapping, so that fashion. So we've got a bit of a progression, so you've got your toe taps into your dead bugs, into your single leg stretch. Okay, so let's wait for an opportune moment to start, which is easy for me to time. So both legs up into your double knee fold and coming into your toe taps. Imagine that heavy weight on the centre of the body, and make sure you're not cheating by just bending your knees, the movement coming from the hip. So you need to be working quite hard with the centre to keep in a nice stable position. Make sure you come into a still position. So down, up, hold, down, up, hold, down, up, hold. Have a little think about what's happening through your back. Make sure you're not doming those abs up towards the ceiling. And back, make sure you're not just bringing the foot towards the knee. Okay, and up towards the chest. Give the back a little bit of a massage, a little roll around. Take those legs down into a straight position, give those hip flexors a little bit of a stretch off. Take a few breaths. And remember, your next exercise is your dead bug, so bit of a coordination challenge. So both legs up into that tabletop position, up into your double knee fold, arms up, and off we go. So breathe, imagine your heavy item on the centre. Remember, one arm and one leg
completely still as the others move. So we're not having any waving around, arms, scissors. Quite difficult to do this one and time at the same time. Breathe. Okay, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and give those legs a stretch. They can bring one knee up if you want to stretch off the front of that hip. And then have a little stretch off the front of the other hip. Go off the top of my mat then. Okay, and we're ready now for your single leg stretch. So one leg straight, one up to the body. Little bit of a sit-up position, and off we go. So breathe. Heavy item on the tummy, remember. So really think about exhale as you straighten the leg. Exhale, so inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Get a little bit of a pattern going with that breathing. Almost there. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and same thing. Legs into that straight position. Bring one leg up towards your chest. A little bit of a roll around. Other leg up towards the chest. Straighten the opposite leg. Both legs hooked up towards the chest. And a little bit of a massage of that spine. Okay, so off we go on our next set. So up into your double knee fold, and off we go. Focus on that angle of that knee. So you can almost imagine you've got a ball or something behind your knee, keeping that angle the same so it doesn't end up just waggling about of the knees. We don't want that. And my heavy item on the tummy. Almost there. And those quads will be ready for a good old stretch and rest. So bring the knees up to the chest or stretch them out, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Okay, so your next one, remember, is your dead bug, so your brain teaser. Have a couple of more seconds while I finish putting my hair up because it's driving me mad. Okay, so back into your double knee fold, arms up, and off we go. Remember, start to really focus on that breathing, especially if you're starting to tire a little. Remember that heavy object on that tummy. opposite arm and leg completely still. And rest. Knees up towards the chest. A little bit of a massage. Give your legs straighten out, so give your hip flexors a little bit of a rest. And then we're going to come into your last exercise in this little mini sequence, and then we've got one more set of these guys to go. So your next one is your single leg stretch, remember. So 5, 4, 3, 2, knee up to the chest, and off we go. So remember, try and focus on that breathing. So exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Keep the chest nice and soft, so try not to grip. If you find your chest and your collarbone getting tight, you can just support yourself with your head, with your hand, and just use one leg. Okay, so that's that one finished. So have a little break, and then we've just got one more set of those 3 exercises to do. So just get that breathing pattern. However you feel more comfortable with those legs, you can either straighten them, give them a hug up towards the chest. Okay, so I've got one more, excuse me, one more set of these. So when you're ready, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, into your double knee fold. So don't lose that heavy feeling on the tummy. What will happen is your back will start to arch up towards the ceiling. Don't allow it to do that, you'll start to hurt your lower back. And you'll also start to build your abs in a domed position, which you also don't want to be doing. Get them nice and flat. I've got about 10 seconds left on this. Remember that heavy object, breathe. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest in whichever position you find more comfortable. Everybody warm? It's nice and humid today. Like the hot Pilates. Okay, so your next one, remember, is your brain teaser. So your next one is your dead bugs. So with one arm and one leg completely still, one arm and one leg moving. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So you'll be pleased to know we are going to move positions after this last sequence, so give your legs and those hip flexors a little bit of a rest. Remember, one arm and one leg completely still, so we want a moment of stillness in between to swap. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And then we've just got one more sequence in this this set. So rest in whichever position is more comfortable. So whether you want to give those muscles there a stretch and have your legs straight, or whether you want to have your knees up towards your chest and have a little bit of a roll around, whichever is better for you. Okay, so we've got about 10 seconds left for your rest, and then we'll go into some stretches before we move on to the next set of torture. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and off we go. So remember, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. If you need to support your head, you can do with one hand, and then just use one hand for your head, so you can come into that if you prefer. So remember, breathe, breathe, breathe. Your last lot of torture on this side, well, on your back should I say, not on your side. Okay, so we'll go a bit quick for the last lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. Well done everyone, so that is your first lot of sequences in your first position. So we'll come over onto your hands and knees, and we'll come into your cat stretch, so give that back a real good stretch off. Gently dropping the head down, bringing that back up, then into the other position, so head gently tilting back, tummy tilting down towards the tummy. And then you can just push back into your child's pose. If you need to just give the hands a little bit of a walk away, you can, or you can take them behind your feet, whichever you find more comfortable, gives you more of a stretch. So just have a break for a couple of minutes if you want to get yourselves a drink, and then we'll move on to your last section, which is on your front. So again, I'm going to do a bit of a little bit of a build up to the exercises, and making sure, even though we're doing it as a bit of a sequence, that we're still thinking about your position and your correctness of movement. So we'll come down onto our fronts, and firstly we're just going to give those quad muscles, the front of those legs, a bit of a stretch because they've worked quite hard. So bring that foot up towards the bum and just feel that stretch through the front of that thigh. Just some breaths. Don't pull it too tight. You want to feel a little bit of a discomfort, a little bit of a stretch, but nothing too horrendous. And then gently release that first leg. And then we'll come up into your other leg. And again, just work within your own bodies. And rest. Okay, so I'm going to come into a little bit of a sequence now to work on extending that spine, so making yourself nice and long through the spine. So we don't want any pain in your lower back as you're on your front. So again, we want to think about engaging those core muscles. So your first one, we're going to really focus on length through that spine. So start off with your hands in your diamond position. So it's a little bit of a stretch as well, just to give that back a stretch before we do too much. So your first exercise is your diamond press. So really think about nice length through the front of that body, tummy button tucked away from the mat, remember, so you're not dropping down onto that mat, because that will hurt your lower back. Feet switched off, remember, and then coming back down again. So really starting to think about your posture and your engagement underneath the body. So again, thinking about, remember, length. So that's your first exercise in your next lot. Okay, and then we're going to come into your dart exercise, which again, thinking about lengthening through that spine. So we're going to take your palms facing up towards the ceiling, hands down onto that mat. And I'm going to give you, again, two options for this one. So I'm just going to take my watch off because I can't actually see it on my phone because I'll put it in front of me. It's easier. Okay, so we're either going to think about lengthening through that body, push those hands down into the mat, long through the body, tummy button tucked, and coming up with your head and your chest. If you prefer, we can go take that up a level, and we're going to lengthen, and then we're going to lift through the legs and the upper body. Again, those hands are pushing down into that mat, and then slowly lowering. So that's your second exercise. Your third exercise is your breaststroke. So coming into your right angle position with those arms. As you lift, taking the arms in front of you, turn the hands over so the fingers face each other, and then we're coming back into a breaststroke. Back to your start position. So let me show you that. So start position, and then you're pushing the hands up, turning the fingers towards each other as if you're pushing into a breaststroke, arms back, and then back into your centre. Okay, so there are your three exercises. So we'll go off on your first sequence then. So we'll just get to an opportune moment on my watch. And off we go. So tummy button tucked away, length through that spine. Push, this is quite a nice one as a starter. Tummy button tucked away from that mat. Inhale, exhale. Nice, slow, lower down. And again, slide those shoulders down the back so they don't come up towards the ears. Inhale, long through the body. Exhale, let those shoulders stay slid down. Inhale, exhale, back down again. Again, slip shoulders down towards the waistband. Tummy button tucked. Okay, we'll get one more of those in. So tuck that tummy button, draw that line with your nose, shoulder blades down. And lower. And rest for a minute. So that's quite a nice easy one to start off that sequence. But it works quite nicely on introducing the length through that spine, the length through the front of the body. So if you're feeling any discomfort in that lower back, really make sure that you're engaged through those core muscles. So imagine there's a little pin coming through your mat and your tummy sort of going away from it. Okay, so we're going to go into your dart now. So remember, you've got two options, either just lifting upper body or lifting lower body, and off we go. So palms into the mat, length, and lift, and lower. So whichever version you're doing, whether you're just doing your upper body You want that head feeling as if it's coming away from the feet, so long through that spine. And if you're lifting both legs, head going off in the opposite direction, tummy button tucked, and lower. Remember, you shouldn't be feeling anything if you're lower in your lower back. If you are, go on to lifting the upper part of the body only. Remember, with these online classes, I'm not there to see what you're doing, so you've got to listen to your own bodies. Okay, and we'll go for one more lift. Hands push down. And rest. So as I say, work within your own body for these video classes. If you feel that something's not right, drop down a level, or just you can always contact me through Fiona if there's anything that you're really struggling with. I know I've had a couple of queries which I am going to answer. I've been a bit rubbish about answering those, but I will get down to sending you some tips. Okay, so remember your next one is your breaststroke. So starting with the hands up by the arms in your right angle position, lift, stretch and swim. That's the start, and lower. And again, tummy button tucked. Reach forward. Back, so arms should be towards the body, as if you're pushing the water away from you in a breaststroke. Lengthen, lift, breaststroke, back, start position, and again, inhale, tuck the tummy button, lift, stretch, push that water away, back to your start position. And we should be able to slip one more in before the clock finishes. Tummy button tucked, reach away, push that water away, start position, and back to your beginning. Okay, so you've got your little rest period now. And then we're into your diamond shape with your hands. So off we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften those feet, tummy button tucked, length, and push. Remember, if you're feeling anything through that lower back, just check you're engaged through the centre of the body, or just reduce that range of movement. Again, tuck that tummy button, switch off those feet, length, push, good, and lower. We should get 2 more in. Lengthen, tummy button tucked, lower. Okay, so we're going to take it straight through now into your dart. So we're going to take hands back, so we're skipping out your rest now. So remember, you can either lift upper body or engage, lift both. Hands pushing down, shoulders reaching down towards that waistband, and lower. Again, engage, fingers pushed down, shoulders slid down towards the waistband, length through that spine. Repeat. Remember, watch that lower back. If you're feeling pain in your lower back, just drop down level onto your upper body only. Okay, and last one. straight into your breaststroke now, because we're on the last couple. Push ourselves a little bit. So engage, lift, reach away, breaststroke, back to your start position, and down. And again, engage, length, lift, stretch away, palms back towards the body, and into your start position. And once more, length, reach away, back towards the body and your start position. Again, lift, think about that head as an extension of that spine, remember, so no pushing back with the head. Nice and long, start position and rest. Okay, so you've got one more set to do. If you want to just push back into your child's pose for your last set, give you back a little bit of a flex, feel free to do so. So we're nearly there. I'll give you another few seconds to rest. And then we're on the home straight with your last 3 exercises. We always find that the class absolutely flies by when we're doing this. Okay, so off into your diamond press, so tummy button tucked, push, watch that lower back, remember, make sure those shoulders don't start creeping up towards those ears, tummy button, lengthen, feel that stretch through the front of the body, switch those feet off, and lower. And again, tummy button tucked, nice and long, push, shoulders down towards the waistband, okay, and again, length, tummy button tucked, push, and I'm going to just hold this one. Remember, reduce your range of movement if you're feeling anything in that lower back. Okay, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, straight into your dart. Long through that spine. And lift, lengthen, and lower. So remember, you can just come up with the upper body, but whatever you're doing, tuck that tummy button away. Again, draw a line with the nose, lengthen, tummy button tucked. Think about that head coming off in the opposite direction to the feet, so you're creating that length. No, remember, no pushing back with that neck. Length, tuck back with the tummy button, and push downwards the mat. Nice length through that spine. And last one, length, lift, head and feet, remember, reaching off in the opposite direction, and lower. Okay, so we're going to come straight into your swimming to finish off, into your breaststroke, shall I say. Lift, extend, breaststroke, back to the start, and lower. Tummy button tucked, lift, extend, breaststroke, back to the start, lower. Again. Lift, extend, breaststroke, back to your start, lower. Remember, length through that neck, no pushing back with the neck. lift, extend, breaststroke, start position, lower, and last one. Engage, length, reach away, breaststroke, start position, and rest. Well done everyone. So that is the end of your sequences. So we'll just do some stretches to finish off. So we've done quite a bit of extension for that back now. So we'll just come into your cat position once again. And just put that back into a little bit of flexion. Just gently drop the head down. Back, just feeling as if it's being pulled up towards that ceiling. Excuse me. Dropping down with that tummy. So try and keep your hips nicely placed over your knees so you're not pushing forward or pushing back. So just really focus on just opening and closing that angle of the hip. And then come back into your neutral position. Tuck those toes underneath. Just push up towards the ceiling. Just give those hamstrings a little stretch off. And then just walk the feet back, down onto your hands, and then back down again. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you plank at this late stage. Okay, so just gently roll over onto your back. We'll just come into a nice full body stretch. So just arms up over the head, feet stretching off down towards the end of that mat. Just taking some breaths. And then just bring one knee up towards that chest and just stretch off through those hip flexors again. And then have a little swap, so opposite leg straight, other leg up towards that chest. And rest. Take the knees together, feet together, and then we'll just allow those legs just to fall out towards the side. You can just increase that a little bit just by applying a little bit of pressure. Just breathe through that stretch. Good. And then gently bring those knees back together. Arms around yourself. And just gently roll in the upper body. Just from side to side. Just give that back a little massage. And then just take the hands, just clasp them, push them away from you up towards that ceiling. Just give that upper back a nice stretch off. And then we'll just take the arms in some big circles over the head. Just take some nice breaths. Do one more big circle. Good. Okay. So, hope you all enjoyed class. Just something a little bit different this week. So, just try and keep a bit of variety really, because it's quite difficult when we don't see you face to face, but I hope you're enjoying these classes. I know it's a very different way, but I think we're getting a bit more used to it now. So I look forward to seeing you all in person and virtually next week. And as I say, any queries, just give me a shout. But meanwhile, have a good week everybody. Bye.